Alright, what's going on, everybody? I am in Ottawa. We are right at Parliament Hill. Apparently this is where a pro-Palestine protest is going to be. I looked at some of the promotional stuff online for the protest. It's pretty nonsense. They're basically calling for the destruction of Israel. They're claiming it's a genocide. And what's, I think, far more offensive is they scheduled this on October 5th. The reason they didn't do it on October 7th is because October 7th lands on a Monday, and I guess these losers have jobs. So they decided to schedule this protest as close to October 7th as possible. So I'm guessing these people probably support Hamas, support October 7th, want to see Jews killed. I think it's pretty disgusting. Basically, we're going to be here filming some of the protest. We're about an hour early right now. We haven't really seen too many people come. I think I just saw one couple in Kefias with some signs saying pro-Palestine. So we're going to try to get a few interviews, and we'll just see what happens. And of course, I'm repping the Death to Hamas shirt with, the Star of David on the back. So let's see what happens. Say again? You're protesting for Palestine? Do you mind if I have an interview with you? Okay. Sure. Yeah. Well, it's an opportunity to advocate for your cause. Okay. Oh well.
Why were we not allowed in there?
Because that side there is for the pro-Palestinian side. So they have an area reserved for their event today. Obviously, with your shirt, you are not here as a pro-Palestinian protester. You are here as a counter-protest. So this area over here is designated for anybody who is counter to their
So
event.
am I legally allowed over there?
So technically, no, because do you have a reservation book? Do you have an event book, the permit book?
Does everybody have a permit or reservation?
Well, not if they're here for an event or to protest, right?
Right, so then there's no issue with...
But you're here to protest, right, with that shirt on?
Right.
Right. So if you want to have a protest going on that is counter to somebody who has a booking, then yes, you would have to have a booking, and then you would have an area designated for you. So right now, we've actually created an area designated for people that are counter.
So am I legally allowed to be in there or not?
For your own safety, no.
Okay, that's not an answer. Am I legally allowed to be there or not?
We are not going to permit you up there because the shirt that you are wearing is there to incite a response, and therefore...
Well, no.
Hold on, let me finish. You are there to incite a response. Therefore, as being on this side where there is a protest happening that is pro-Palestine, you wearing a shirt that is clearly saying death to Hamas, okay? It could be considered disturbing the peace. It could be, listen.
So is pro-Palestine pro-Hamas?
It could be considered disturbing the peace. So in order to avoid a disturbance of the peace happening, we're telling you need to be on this side.
Well, what about saying death to Hamas is disturbing the peace?
Because you've clearly said this to Ottawa police as well, that all you want to do is incite a response.
No, I
yes,
never
you
said
did.
that.
So the thing behind
When
that...
did I say I wanted to incite a response?
That's what you said, right? You said you're not here, you don't want to fight anybody, you don't want to cause any problems, you just want to incite a response from
No,
people
I
that are
never
here.
said that.
Really? Because you're telling me that Ottawa police lied?
Well, I'm not
are you saying
he
lied?
I'm saying he might have misremembered or misunderstood.
Well, that doesn't sound that way to me. In any case, if you are here to counter-protest, this is the area designated for you.
Okay, so
Simple as
am
that.
I legally allowed to be in that area or not?
No, because if you go in that area, you will be disturbing the peace and causing mischief.
Okay, how would I be disturbing the peace?
With the shirt that you are having, it'll incite a response, and therefore you are going to be causing an issue.
What do you mean?
So here's the thing: if you have
So-
any more questions at this point, I'm
I'm
going to give you a
just-
card.
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
confused how
I'm
it
going
would
to. I
incite
just
a
explained it to you.
response.
I can't explain it to you in any other way. Here is our media and communications. You can reach out to them, and they can provide you more of a response. Okay. But at this time, I'm letting you know very clearly, you are not to go on the other side. You want to come up on Parliament Hill? You have this entire
Would I be
side
arrested
here.
if I were to go on that side?
So I've just told you now, you are not permitted on that
Would
side.
I be arrested if I went on that
Yes,
side?
because at that point it would be considered trespassing. You have been told that you are not permitted on that side. I have just clearly told you this.
Well,
Is that public area?
So it is an area reserved for people that are protesting for Palestine, okay, or general public that are here touring the area. That
Okay,
shirt,
I'm
take that.
general
You tell you what.
public,
I'll tell you what.
that's touring the
You take the shirt off, right? That doesn't say death to Hamas, right? And as long as the T-shirt underneath. Hold on. Again, you're interrupting me. Just let me finish.
So you're admitting death to Hamas. So
I'm admitting that death to Hamas will incite a response from people that are here protesting for Palestine. That is what I'm saying.
They're two
okay?
different things.
No, they're not.
He's admitting there's no difference between pro-Palestinian protesters and pro-Hamas.
No, I didn't say that.
You are.
No, see, now you're the one putting words in my mouth.
No.
I am saying that your shirt may incite a response, a negative response, and that will disturb the peace on that side.
I'm
there.
not saying I'm anti-Palestine. I'm just anti-Hamas.
Okay, well that's
Those are
fine.
two
Then
different
you know what? No problem. Take the sweater off. You can go on that side.
Why
no
would I
problem.
need to? You just said it's open
Because
to the
I just
public.
told you, and again, I can't repeat myself any much more than what I just said. That shirt, okay, will incite a response, may incite a response, and we do not want that to happen, right? Do you want a response? Do you want to have people jump on you and start potentially harming you?
Well,
is this
no.
what you want? Okay,
I want
so I don't want that either, right? I don't want that either. So if you go over there and you incite a response, then that is a disturbing of the peace. You are now having to get us to intervene, right? Now you're taking people away from their jobs of ensuring everybody's safety here,
Sure.
right?
Here's my
hold on,
confusion.
again, you're interrupting me. Please wait. So, because of that, I am telling you that with that shirt on, you are not permitted on that side. Okay, very clear?
Yeah, sure.
Are we clear?
So
Is it? All right, is that clear?
Yeah, there's just one issue of confusion.
Okay.
There's nothing about the shirt that would cause a response. It's
Death
entirely
So
their
you have-
decision. So there's protesters outside Parliament Hill talking about like they're against trans people.
Okay, well, they're off Parliament Hill. I have nothing to do there.
Right, but I'm just
So
curious.
you're talking about somewhere that I have zero jurisdiction on. So it's really invalid to this conversation.
It is. I'm just curious. Like anything could potentially be triggering. Like I could have a Pepsi shirt, and then pro-Palestinian protesters could say Pepsi supports Israel, and then they could attack me. So what's unique about this shirt versus wearing a pro-Pepsi shirt?
It says death to Hamas. There's an Israeli tank flying an Israeli flag rolling over a Palestinian flag.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that is clearly Israel rolling over Palestine.
Well, it's specifically Hamas.
Well, that's not a Hamas flag. That's a Palestine flag.
Well,
right?
Hamas has Palestinian flags that they hold.
Okay. So do you see right now where there could be some confusion? Because right now you're saying death to Hamas, but you have an Israeli tank rolling over dead bodies and a Palestinian flag.
Okay.
So for me, I'm interpreting that as that is a anti-Palestine shirt because you're wanting that Israeli tank to roll over Palestine.
Well, I don't recognize Palestine as a state.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that statement right there tells me that you are definitely not here to support the Palestinian event today.
Right.
So you're not permitted on that side.
Okay.
Okay? Clear enough?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks.
Right, so the cop said I'm not allowed in unless I take off the shirt, so we're gonna fold this inside out.
You're not allowed in there?
Yeah, they're not allowing me.
Horrible.
Yeah, it sounds like a BS free speech issue. All right, problem solved.
Last thing I said to you, right? You admitted to me that you do not recognize Palestine as a state. You are not a supporter of Palestine. You are
said
not
if I
permitted
take the shirt
on.
off.
Yeah, that was before you admitted being against this cause over here.
He never said he was against this cause.
Yeah, he did. He said he's not a supporter of Palestine and doesn't.
He
recognize
didn't say
Palestine
that.
as a state.
No, I didn't say that. I
Well,
said
he
I
didn't
wanna
say that.
recognize
We wanna-
Palestine as a state.
Do we want to rewind the video and see?
Well, there's no audio in the actual camera.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, eh?
Yeah.
But no.
Well, there's
so you
audio
said
on a
it-
camera. You
so
can't play it
you
back.
said it to me. My colleague understood. My colleague understood.
Yeah, I
I
said
never
I don't
clearly-
accept Palestine as a state. That doesn't mean I'm anti-Palestinian people.
You don't and you said you don't support Palestine. Okay.
I don't
So-
recognize Palestine as a
You
state.
so no
you
problem.
said if
Then you
he
can go on
you
the
said
other
if
side.
he took the
Simple as that.
You
shirt.
told me if I were to take the shirt off, I could come in. All I
Well,
want to
that
do
was
is get interviews.
before you changed your story
Well, all
to
I
I
wanna
don't
do-
support Palestine and I
well,
don't
look-
recognize Palestine as a state.
Look, I'm
And so-
not wearing
hold
anything
on.
that's inflammatory.
Hold on.
And I just
Hold
want to
on.
do interviews.
Hold on. Then at the end, right before I left, I said you are not to go on this side. Right?
No,
This
you
is a
said
clear
not
free
to go
speech
Before.
infringement of
Then-
free speech.
Then after. No, I'm not. You
Yeah,
can do
this
that on
is
that
very
side.
tyrannical.
You can believe that if you wish.
Well, it
You wanna
is.
come up on Parliament Hill? Other side.
So to
Simple
be
as
on
that.
this side, do you need to declare your support for Palestine?
That is-
a
Yeah,
prerequisite
you
to be
have
over
to
here.
declare your support for Palestine.
Well, you've
at the
declared
public
that you're
hearing.
against it.
No, he never declared he was against. No, he didn't.
Did he?
We're sorry you did.
I mean,
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
So
You're clearly lying.
Shirt and the way we talk.
But you're not.
Saying he doesn't recognize Palestine as a state is not declaring he's against Palestine. You guys are. This is a gross miscarriage of justice. I'm speaking for myself. This is a miscarriage of justice.
Have I said that you're not allowed up here? Have I said anything to you?
No, but I am. I'm calling it as I see it.
Now,
It's an infringement of free speech.
This side over here, where the pro-Palestine event is taking place. If you would like to come up on Parliament Hill and share your message, you can go on the other side.
Area, you have to show your support for Palestine.
No, you just proven to me and said very clearly you are against Palestine.
So I'm not allowed in certain public areas if I have certain political opinions.
Right now, today, no.
Then that's a contradiction. This is a public area.
No, it's private property to which the general public is granted access.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a public
Right,
area.
and I'm the
That's
general-
actually
I'm
a
the
very
general public.
that is very different when it comes to law. That
Okay,
differentiation.
and I'm the general public, and I don't have an inflammatory shirt like you claim.
No, but like I said, right? You have said to me very clearly you don't support Palestine. You have said to Ottawa Police you're here to incite a response.
He did not say that he doesn't support
Because of
Palestine.
that,
Not say that.
you are not permitted on this side
I never
of
said I
the
was
law.
going to incite any kind of response from anybody.
Okay, that's nice. You are not permitted on this side of the lawn. You are more than welcome to come up on the other side.
Okay, but the issue is you're basically saying an area that's open to the general public, you're only allowed in if you support certain political opinions.
You are not permitted on this side of the lawns today. You are more than welcome to come up on the other side.
Is that under threat of arrest?
If you continue to refuse to cooperate, it will be considered trespass, and you will be arrested for trespassing, and then you will be trespassed from the entire Parliament Hill for 1 year.
Okay.
If you would like to go down that route, just let me know.
Okay. Okay, sure.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
That was interesting. Anything to
Yeah.
say about that? Or?
Well, it's really bizarre. I could kind of understand the police would have an interest in preventing violence, but they're literally telling me that I'm not allowed on Parliament Hill unless I have certain political opinions, which seems to go against the Canadian Constitution. So I haven't made any suggestion that I was going to be violent, incite violence. Yeah, some people might be offended by the shirt, but there are people who could be offended by a ton of different shirts.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen some shirts kind of, let's say, opposite to yours, perhaps, around here,
yeah.
and they're, they're allowed to do whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Israel, would you mind doing a debate or interview? No.
Hey, brother. I'm so glad to see somebody that's bold enough to wear this.
Well, I'm not a coward, right? I'm not a coward. People have to stand up for, what's right.
Yeah, that's why I'm here today too, and that's why I'm wearing my yellow ribbon.
Thanks.
And I served in the Canadian Armed Forces as a UN peacekeeper in Egypt and Israel. And then I went as a volunteer to Israel, and so I have friends who,
Would you mind doing an interview with me? Would you be okay with that?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so tell me your name. You just came up and talked to me. You like my shirt being pro-Israel, so just tell me some things about you.
Well, my name's Jan, and I'm a Canadian and a Christian and a veteran who served as a UN peacekeeper in 1979 in Egypt and Israel. And then later on, I went and did volunteer work in Israel. So I was there in the second Intifada. And my friend's 12-year-old daughter was blown up on a bus coming home from school. And another friend of mine was walking to work and was horribly burned when a bomber, blew himself up just in front of her. So when a year ago when this all happened, and I just heard about, the village is attacked, the people raped and burned and murdered. Actually, I just had to go and sit on the toilet because I just was so sick. I couldn't stand it. And so I have so many friends, Arab friends, Jewish friends, Christian friends, in Israel. It's not that I'm against Arabs. I worked very hard with my church to support a Syrian refugee family and their 4 kids to, come here. And it's just ridiculous that
Free Lebanon! Free Lebanon! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Lebanon! Free Lebanon! Free Palestine!
and it's absolutely ridiculous that these people don't understand that the only freedom that can actually come for Palestine is if they're free from Hamas, and the only freedom that can come for Lebanon is if they're free from Hezbollah, and that this whole thing about from the river to the sea, if Hamas had let go of the hostages like 11 months ago, hardly anyone would have been killed. Like, let the hostages go and give up your idea that you're going to slaughter all of the 7 million Israelis, plus a lot of the 2 million Arabs that live in Israel, because of course they would be considered collaborators because they work in the government or in the military, even all kinds of things. So it's easy to shout and scream when you have no knowledge, no history, but I have knowledge. I have history. I've been there. I've served there. I have friends there. And this is just ignorance. I'm Israel Chai! I'm Israel Chai! I'm Israel Chai! Yeshua Hu HaMashiach! I'm Israel Chai!
Israel terrorist!
I'm Israel Chai!
Israel terrorist! Down
What they don't realize is it's a spiritual battle in the heavenlies. And that's why I was singing this song that actually comes from the Old Testament, which says, "Arise, God. Salvation comes from the Lord." These poor people, they don't realize they're not only hurting their present, they're holding their futures. They're hurting their futures. Anyways, thank you. What's your name?
Richard.
Richard Jan. Thank you.
Really nice talking to you. Really appreciate that.
Shabbat shalom.
This is for the people who are standing up against oppression. You shouldn't be here.
Well, you're not-
Would you be interested in doing an interview?
You are an oppressor.
He's
You
in
are
Canada.
an
In
oppressor.
Canada, he's entitled to be here. He's entitled to be here.
Turn on the audio.
So
And
absolutely.
so am me, and I'm neutral.
Absolutely.
I'm not taking sides.
Absolutely.
We're entitled to be here, and so is he, though.
But
So why do you think Israel's an oppressor?
why do you think Israel's an oppressor?
Well-
I think you should answer your own question. They're going around killing innocent people, Palestinians, Lebanese, children, moms, dads.
Hamas went around and killed innocent people.
This has been going on for 76 years. What are you talking about?
Well, Hamas and the PLO have been attacking Israel for 76 years.
No, that's not true.
No, Israel.
Sorry.
When you do the Israeli when the Israel come to Palestine, when you have a million Jewish against you as a Zionist,
Yeah,
I'm not paid anything.
you are.
I wish I was. I'd be making a lot more money.
When is Israel birthday? When is Israel birthday? 75 years. It was Palestine.
Okay, so I'm just interested in having an actual talk and interview and debate some people.
I'll answer your questions. Maybe I won't. I feel that you really shouldn't be here if you're not supporting the people who are standing up against it.
Well, it's fine if you don't think I should be here, but
Again, you're absolutely welcome to be here, but maybe not right here. Like maybe.
okay, well, it's a public area.
You know, just like, yeah.
No, it's a public area.
Oh yes, the sidewalk is occupied.
No, it's a
Your
public area.
logic. That's your logic, yeah? Oh, this is occupied. Absolutely. Oh, you just learned about colonialism.
So I have a question for you. Sure. So Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. They killed about 1,200 people. Do you think that attack was justified?
So do you think it's okay for Israel to go to a mosque and have the settlers try to steal the mosque? So there's a whole bunch of factors.
You're talking about the West Bank, correct?
No, but what I'm saying, no, I'm not. But anyway, what I'm trying to say to you is that just because something happened, are you shaking? Are you okay? Oh, okay. I was a little worried there. So do you think it's okay for them to go and attack and not have it brought out in public, but as soon as something happens to the Jewish people, as soon as something happens to the Zionists, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we've been injured. But what about what they did just before that happened? Why don't we talk about that?
Well, Israel is probably one of the most scrutinized. Israel's probably one of the most scrutinized militaries on the planet.
No, but you know what? Yeah. So okay, just one more second. I just want to say when the Holocaust happened, everybody here stood up and said that shouldn't have happened, and everyone in the world stood up and said never again. And what are we doing? We're watching Israel commit the same atrocities that happened to them. So this is not justified. Absolutely, you're welcome to be here. Please join us if you wanted to.
Okay, that's interesting what you said. You said the Jews are perpetrating a Holocaust or an atrocity that happened to them. So far...
No, I said what happened to them, they're now doing it to Palestine.
Yeah, so there's only been about 40,000. There's only been about 40,000 total deaths in the Gaza Strip so far. About 40,000, and in the Holocaust. Yeah, and in the Holocaust.
Not since 1976. In a year. Isn't that horrific to you? We're watching people being murdered on TV. No humanity, because everyone's afraid to stand up and say, oh my God, you Zionist people, stop killing innocent people. Not you, maybe everybody else, maybe you're not.
Okay.
You're going to take all of this. Any of what you said now?
Well, I'm listening.
You're going to take the snips that you want.
And I'm okay with that because I have it here.
You did mistake. Don't. Leave him alone. Free Palestine.
So
enjoy yourself.
So I just find it kind of strange that you'd compare what's going on in Gaza right now to the Holocaust when 6 million people killed.
What did I say to you? I said what happened to them. Everyone stood up and said never again. And now they're doing what happened to them to the Palestinians.
So
what
you would
comparing is they think it's okay to kill.
What you say, he will say so.
So
No. She's with us.
Take care.
She's with us. That's enough.
All right, thank you.
That's enough.
I am humanity. Thank you, sir. Everyone here is with humanity. Have a lovely day.
You wouldn't see
But the
it
question is,
if it was on
but the question is, would you hear their side? Would you be willing to hear their side? The question is, would you be willing to hear their side?
Come on.
I'm not a Christian.
We don't have to hear it.
That's enough.
So I'm trying to have interviews. People are just interrupting. It's kind of what I'd expect. They're not really interested in having any kind of dialogue. They're sort of ideologues, and they believe whatever they want. Okay, sure.
I'm neutral on this issue, and I'll tell you why I'm neutral. It's because this is a religious problem that goes back thousands of years. Yes, it is. It's a religious problem.
Muslims and Jews living in
It goes
peace,
back
and
thousands of years.
That's it. We just want everybody living in peace.
Well, Hamas doesn't want that. It's in their charter to exterminate Jews. So are you a Hamas supporter? Do you support Hamas?
For Christians, Muslims, and
Well, I do too.
and Jews living all in
I absolutely do too. That's why I'm against Hamas.
I'm against religion, because if nobody was religious, everybody would live in peace together. You will notice in the world that atheists don't go around causing wars. Atheists tend to be the most honorable, morally conscientious people. It's all these holier-than-thou people that are going around killing each other, and they say, oh, we believe in love and peace and toleration, but they're the ones killing each other. Hamas should go to hell, but also so should Jewish people who occupy Palestinian land. They should go to hell too, right? You got to love each other. You got to stop hating each other.
Okay, well, Israel is a secular state. They don't have, like, their religious beliefs intertwined.
Some land in the West Bank since 1967.
Well,
United Nations.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and it's to prevent terror attacks.
Goes back before that, and it eventually goes back. Well, the Jews came into being before Islam. But ever since Islam, all they want to do is destroy Israel. And that's not acceptable. Israel's entitled to exist. They're entitled to their belief system. And the problem is, you got some people believe in, they don't pronounce the name of the God if you're Jewish. Christians call him Jehovah, and Muslims call him Allah, but I think it's supposed to be the same God. Well, how come the same God gave different people all the same land, said, Allah says, no, that's your land. Jehovah says, no, that's your land. The unpronounceable Jewish God, no, that's your land. Well, then they're at each other's throats. Well, where's love and peace gone now? Why don't you just get over it and love each other and share everything? Share everything.
Well,
two-state solution. One, share everything.
I'm actually in support of a one-state solution, and that's because it's pretty clear that Palestinians can't really establish their own state, and at least a state that's peaceful. Israel is the only country in the Middle East where there's human rights. It's secular.
Democratic.
Yeah, it's also democratic.
Right to exist. That they have an absolute right to exist in peace. But the big problem, of course, is Iran. They're not even Arabs. They're Muslims, but they're not even Arabs, and they're fucking up the Semitic world where the Jews and the Arabs all live. Iran, the Persians, are manipulating it and fucking it up. There's no doubt about that.
Iran is absolutely supporting terrorism and proxies in that area, namely. Yeah.
So again, I won't take sides. You just got to love each other. But I do agree that Israel has the right to exist, and I do agree with you, the one-state solution. Share it.
So I do disagree with you a little bit with you have to take sides. I think really... So yes, and I'll make a case for that. Israel is the only liberal, secular, democratic nation in the Middle East. They have tried to make peace agreements with the Palestinians. Palestinians living in Israel, they have the same rights as Israeli citizens. And the only reason they're occupying the West Bank, the only reason they have occupied Gaza, and the only reason they're doing these attacks is for the goal of peace. So if their goal is peace, and even if Israel were to have an interest in taking over these territories, clearly that's the better solution than to have these two people who hate each other live right next to each other with one Islamic jihadist state committing terror attacks. So I think the obvious answer there is to support Israel.
I don't know about that. I support Israel's right to exist. And another thing that disgusts me, if none of these Palestinian people criticize Hamas for hiding underneath children in the schools and the hospitals. And they should not be hiding there. Okay, so they should not be hiding there.
Well, I try to ask them these questions like, okay, if you think it's so horrible to kill children, then why hasn't Hamas made any civilian bunkers? Why do they create terror tunnels under schools?
Sacrifice their own people, that's obvious. That's obvious. They don't care about their own people.
Yeah, and you see my shirt, it says death to Hamas. I don't think that's the most controversial thing to say. I think anybody who's pro-Palestinian would be in support of destroying Hamas because they're the ones that are ultimately responsible for killing their own people. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Hamas hide in their tunnels and in the hospitals and the schools, and therefore when there's collateral damage, which inevitably there will be, they blame it on Israel. But I blame all of the collateral damage deaths on Hamas. If Hamas would release whatever prisoners are still alive, they're mostly dead, and all come out, then no more Palestinians would die. The Jews would stop. That's obvious. There's no question that the Jews have showed more restraint. But that's because they're connected to America and the West, and they need to keep getting their support. So they should show restraint, and they do. So that's good.
Yeah, I think out of any war that has occurred in urban combat, Israel's managed to have the lowest civilian casualty ratio of any military. So I think Israel is acting benevolently as possible.
I think they're acting more benevolently than Hamas. I'm not sure if it's benevolent as possible. If I may change the subject slightly, I've always believed one of the big problems in the planet Earth is religion. If we didn't have religion, we'd be a lot better off. But a very dangerous religion, unfortunately, has been the Jews, because they claim that God favors them, that they're some special chosen people. In other words, they're saying God's a racist. He likes us, he doesn't like you. Well, God's not a racist. And the reason for the historical hatred of Jewish people for thousands of years is because they say, we're chosen in God's eyes. Well, I'm sorry. No wonder everybody else hates you. Well, if you have that attitude, you got to drop that attitude.
Well, I'd push back against that. At least when you talk about modern Jews, most of them have extremely nebulous beliefs when it comes to, the Torah.
Modern days. I'm talking historically for thousands of years. The anti-Semitism that goes back thousands of years, I believe, is rooted in their claim that God's a racist and that he favors them.
Yeah. I'm not so sure if that's the case. I don't know enough about ancient history, but modern Jews today, most of them are atheists. Yeah, most of them are atheists, even though even the people who go to synagogues, fundamentally,
there's a lot of Christians that aren't really religious. They just go on Sunday, whatever.
Like, they can't even explain what God is, what he really wants. A lot of them, even really conservative religious Jews like Dennis Prager, they find weird ways to justify things that are in the Torah. So he doesn't really fundamentally believe in these beliefs. So I don't think that's an accusation you could make against most Jews today.
That could be true. I was making more of a historical statement to explain anti-Semitism for the last thousands of years. It only stands to reason. I think mankind should just get rid of God. Our gods are not serving us well. We choose our own gods. We invent them. We name them. We decide who they are. We should get over it. And every religion speaks about love and toleration and peace, but all we do is fight. So I don't know what the solution is.
I would agree. I think our societies would be much better off if we adopted something like Stoicism, a philosophy like Stoicism.
Yep, something like that.
But
we need to love each other. We need to just be happy and peaceful. As long as we fight, there's no hope.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the interview. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the vegan.
I think you're a troll.
So normally I host my debates through online, but I always upload the full clips.
One second. Make sure not yes. Because I've heard of it.
Yeah.
He is the one, the only.
Sorry?
I'm not just thanks.
No? Yeah. Okay. Well, take care. Have a nice day.
Like, oh no, it's vegan gains.
Yeah.
we can't.
So afraid to go with the interview on your back?
No. The reason is I'm not a coward. So I'll stand up for what's right. I'll go in anywhere, even if they have knives. It's just the right thing to do.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, take care.
Good luck in conveying your message.
Yeah, sure.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, he's Jewish. Oh, let's try interview them. Hi, your science is really interesting. Would you mind if I interviewed you? Sure. I'm actually against terrorism myself.
Yeah, it's very basic. I don't need to go into details. Israel is attacking many countries. They are killing people. More than 118,000 people are between killed and under the rubble in Palestine, in Gaza. They are occupying the land. They are terrifying people. So that's why Israel is the real terrorist. They are terrorizing countries around them.
Okay, so I have a little bit of a disagreement with you. I think Hamas is a serious problem for both Jews and Arabs. the October 7th attack, they knew they were going to put their own citizens in harm's way. They knew Israel was going to attack in that fashion. So, and not only that, despite receiving billions of dollars in aid money, Hamas never built any civilian shelters. They only built terror tunnels. So do you think Hamas is a problem that needs to be eliminated?
I'm not spokesman for Hamas. I'm not talking about that. My only concern now is humanitarian. What I see is that Israel, with all its big army, they are attacking. That's what's concerning people around the world now. And America is supporting Israel. It's very inhumane to see all those people getting killed and just stand and talk about the history that started October 7th. History didn't start October 7th. This has been going on for so long. It's a genocide, and many people are trying to turn away and not admit to that.
Okay, so you said it's a genocide. What makes you think it's a genocide? So far, the estimated casualties is about 40,000 total out of a population of 2 million. On top of that, Israel has been using guided munitions. They've been creating safe zones, warning civilians. They've also been facilitating humanitarian aid. Don't you think those are very strange circumstances to, say that's a genocide?
I'm not a political analyst. I'm not a political analyst. I'm not going to go into that. What I see is that people are being killed with no discrimination, and Israel knows how to attack, but they are insisting on attacking civilians. So I'm not going to go into details because I'm not a political analyst. I'm a human being who's very concerned about my people, about people in Lebanon and people in different kinds of the world that are being targeted by the powers of Israel, supported by the military power of USA. Now there is something like people in USA are suffering from disasters, like natural disasters, and the money is going to Israel to support the army to kill more innocent people. There's no way that you're going to kill 40,000 people by accident while targeting other people. Israel doesn't even have the exact number of people who were engaged in military actions that they targeted. They don't have the number.
Right, so I'm totally in agreement that it's a tragedy when innocent civilian lives are lost, but I do also recognize that it is an inevitable consequence of the war. Again, you can look at Israel's numbers themselves, the United States...
And as I said again, I'm not a political analyst. Okay. Go and look at the news and Instagram and all that. Yeah, it's something I support.
Yeah.
I support this opinion.
We're good.
Thank you.
I suggest you do some more homework and analysis on your own, but you can leave us be at this point.
Okay, well, thank you for the interview. I really appreciate that. Didn't mean to upset anybody. I'm just here getting interviews, but thank you for your time. Okay, so I think that's a little strange that she'd say they're not a political analyst, they don't really know about any of the numbers or figures, but then claim that I need to do my own research. But again, what do you expect? These people are ideologues.
Strange as you're here. No, I don't want to be on your camera.
I said, do you want to do an interview?
No, I don't talk to pieces of shit.
Well, you just did. Stop. You're just talking to us, so...
She's very nervous. Pressure. She's trying to navigate this difficult situation.
ما بعرفش انجليزي ما شيء.
Would you be interested in doing an interview?
Who?
Would you be interested in doing an interview?
You're gonna bomb them.
Yeah. You want to do an interview? Oh.
Why?
Well, we're interested to hear the Palestinian perspective. I normally host debates on my YouTube channel.
What are you, stupid? How are you interested in wearing
yeah, go on.
That's clearly a biased shirt.
I don't want to talk. I just want to hear what he has to
find out the other side of the story. We're done. We're done talking.
I really care about Palestinians, and destroying Hamas is the best way to support Palestinians.
You're touching me. Yeah, you were touching me.
I don't touch crazy people like you.
I'm interested in like all this, the communism of Palestine.
I would, but I'm not very only English.
Okay.
But how do you do
Does he speak English?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Hey. I was interested in just interviewing you. It seems like you're a communist and you also support Palestine. Like, would you mind doing an interview about that?
No, thanks.
Okay. I was looking at some of the communist
you
stuff,
can keep walking. You can keep walking.
Palestine stuff. I was wondering if you could just do an interview, maybe talking about some of it.
I really would not rather talk about any of this with you folks, but yeah.
Okay. All right,
Take care. Have a good one. Cheers.
Hello. I noticed you have a thing of Trudeau saying he's a war criminal. So if you think Trudeau's a war criminal, what do you think of Iran supporting terrorism in the region around Israel?
We're not talking to you.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the Hannibal Doctrine, the Dahiyya Doctrine? I mean, all the information is readily available there. You don't have to believe a guy like me. If you just spent 5 minutes and had the actual courage to see what's going on, you'd see it there. Under no circumstances would I ever condone violence against civilians at all. And the only way that we're going to get through this is me, you, Christians, Muslim, Jews, together. Without us being together, we're never going to get past this. Your safety and security is being hijacked by extremists. My safety and security is being hijacked by extremists. If sane people don't come together to end this, do you think it's ever going to end?
Well, look, I have a lot of respect for you for condemning Hamas. That's something we absolutely can't agree on.
Listen, again, I condemn all groups that indiscriminately kill civilians. No exceptions. No except if the people being murdered, if the killers were another group other than Israelis, I'd be screaming just as loud. This really has nothing to do with Judaism. It has nothing to do with Christianity. It has nothing to do with Islam. This is killing on a wholesale level, like on an industrial level. It needs to end.
So,
it needs to end.
right.
We've seen way too much. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
33.
33. So I've got 21 years on you. I've known nothing but violence all my life. And imagine a Palestinian born in Gaza. Their only crime in life is they were born in Gaza. They've never known peace.
Well,
they've never known peace.
I have a lot of sympathy for Palestinian civilians who are getting killed. But just to clarify your position, do you think it's not acceptable for any civilian casualties, or do you just have an issue with the amount of civilian casualties in this war?
No, I mean, if you're a human, you don't want any civilians. How can I possibly put value on the first 10? Or no value on the first 10 and value on the next 39,000. So no, if you're against the killing of civilians, you're against the killing of all civilians. Civilian one.
The issue.
I know in the fog of war that unfortunately people will get killed, but I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with terms collateral damage. I'm not okay with terms human shields. It's not human shields. You've got a densely populated place that you're dropping 2,000-pound bombs on there that are by law against the law to use in heavily populated areas. So you can't tell me that it's okay to drop a 2,000-pound bomb to kill one person, but in doing so, you kill 400 civilians? Let me ask you, would it be okay for somebody to drop a 2,000-pound bomb on the Knesset to kill Netanyahu, and in doing so, they kill 400 innocent Israelis? Would you condone that?
Well, probably not, but the issue...
Probably not, because you've asked me to condone this, and I did it. Would you condone somebody dropping a 2,000-pound bomb on the Knesset to kill Netanyahu, and in doing so, killing 400 innocent Israelis? Would you?
So
I wouldn't.
I'm in support. Well, I'm in support of Netanyahu, so on that basis I wouldn't. But here's the issue. Well, wait. I gave you a long time to talk. I'm just.
Yeah, but you're giving me a long time to talk because you obviously have nothing to say.
No,
Usually Israeli supporters don't have much to say.
Well, I have a lot to say. You just haven't given me an opportunity.
So let's start with that one single question. If somebody were to drop a 2,000-pound bomb on the Knesset in an attempt to kill Netanyahu, and in doing so they kill 400, 500 innocent civilians, is that okay in your mind?
So this is an issue with proportionality. It's not a yes or.
Well, it is a yes
sorry,
or no. Listen,
it's not.
A yes or no, that means you're not being genuine. You have no heart, and I don't got time for you.
Well, sorry.
Yes or no's. Is it a yes
well,
or no?
I personally wouldn't.
Yes or no?
I personally wouldn't. No, but. Well, I personally wouldn't condone that, but
that's all I want to know. Why is it hard to say? So if you don't condone it against Netanyahu, how can you condone it for any other people?
Well, as far as I understand, Israel hasn't done that. And secondly, okay.
Listen, seriously, if you're going to sit here and not know what's going on and say, as far as you know, Israel hasn't done this, let's start with something. Next week, I'll give you a full week. Educate yourself, inform yourself on the reality, and then come back. If you're going to sit here and say, I understand Israel hasn't done that because you're an ardent supporter, then with all due respect...
Okay, well, I have some...
I don't have time with you. Go educate yourself, and then come back, and don't just tell me, I personally don't think he did that. Because that's not a stance. That's not a stance. You obviously don't want to admit what he's done. Go educate yourself, come back, and I'll have a debate with you. I'm not going to sit here and have a debate with somebody who's going to blatantly just say he hasn't done that. It's like you don't want to believe your eyes. You don't want to believe your eyes?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. It's okay.
All right, well, these people are impossible to debate. What he said about Netanyahu dropping a 2,000-pound bomb in a single person just isn't true. Secondly, his claim that I don't even understand what his epistemic standard was. At one point, he said there's too many civilians getting killed.
If you're willing to educate yourself and come back here next week, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you.
Information so you can set that up.
I'll be here. I come to rallies every week. I come to rallies every week. But if your position's gonna be,
would you like to debate me?
Come on, you know what? I will admit everything that everybody's done, but it's not a genuine debate if your response is they haven't done that. That's silly. That's silly. Where's my information? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. What do you mean? Where's my information? My information is online. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
You can say the same about
where? So he can say that he personally does not think they did this. He personally, hold on. He personally does not think they did that. But the information is there. I never said, but, oh my God.
It's just like the moon landing truthers. The information's on the internet. The moon landing didn't happen. You just have to look it up on the internet. So again, it's not true that Netanyahu dropped a 2,000-pound bomb to kill a single person, then ended up killing 400 people. Secondly, I don't understand what his epistemic standards are. At one point he said he has an issue with the amount of people who are killed. At another point he said no civilian casualties are ever acceptable. If that were the case, he would have to condemn the Allies' involvement in World War II. No war would ever be justified, and you'd have to let some sort of attacking military just kill you. So if you're not allowed to kill any civilians, then you'd never be able to wage warfare. All right, so we basically wrapped up what we're doing here right now. As expected, no one really had an argument or were willing to argue even in the first place. Basically, these people are ideologues. They don't even understand the political position they're supporting. When I do get in some of these talks, as soon as we start getting into some of the details, they basically just run. Luckily, didn't get stabbed. Nobody attacked me today, so that was nice. It was pretty peaceful. There were some people who were kind of getting a little aggressive, but I don't think they really ever had an intention of doing anything. So that's that. No hearts or minds were changed today. No surprise there.